All right, chat. We have a special guest here. I guess it's in the title, so I can just spoiler now that it's Villain Theory. Welcome, my good friend. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's excited to be here. For a second I thought you were Nelson, and then like the haze lifted, the my eyes sharpened, and here we are. Very excited for this hero. Very excited that it's this hero specifically because I prepared. I've got like a Jessica Jones book behind me, and if it
Mm.
wasn't, it was going to be awkward.
It was gonna be awkward because I did the thumbnail ahead of time expecting this, and I was like, I swear to God, if Luke Cage pops out, I don't know. I'm just gonna put Jessica Jones and confuse everyone and see what happens. So, but yeah, I'm sure you were confused about Nelson until you saw me, and then you're like, oh, this is just some other. This is just an ugly American guy, not Nelson, who looks fantastic. So, I get it. I
I'm,
get it.
I'm making no comments. I'm making no comments.
Fact check true. But yeah, so welcome chat, welcome Link, Keith. Hopefully you're doing well. Mongoose, Villain Theories, magisterial, mystical, mythical, magical, quote unquote retirement tour continues. You love to see it. He retired over there. He's not retiring over here. I'm gonna swoop in and take him. He's over here now. So
It's complicated.
it's a little complicated, but we'll figure it out. There's custodial rights and whatever, and it's fine. It's all good. So, okay, Andrew just read the article. She looks awesome. So, just so you know, neither of us have read this yet. So, I figured what we'll start with in a second is super hot take because that's what we do. Expectations of what you think Jessica Jones will be, and then we'll see how wrong D20 is and how close Villain Theory is to right. All right. I think that could be fun. Spoiler, she looks awesome. Villain Theory doesn't know what retirement is. I think you know.
True.
I think you retired. You did a soft retirement. And then what's that thing that like old people do when they like do like active retirement, right? Like they retire, but then they still work. And it's just like they're lying, but they're not because they retired from whatever and then they just do their own thing.
Okay, hear me out. I said like a year ago I'm retiring, and we might get up to like 140, 150 videos, and that'll be chill. And I was at 149. I kept my
Mhm.
word. I hadn't done anything in a few months, and then suddenly like Daredevil box stuff, and this is like my most wanted expansion, and now it's I don't know. Here we are. There's Jessica Jones.
Is Daredevil your most wanted one that they out of all of it? Okay.
Yeah, Daredevil, and like the whole kind of theme, like Kingpin. I'm so happy we got Kingpin in the book.
Mhm.
So yeah, super excited for that.
Yeah, no. For me, it was never a massive Daredevil. Like, I have nothing against Daredevil. I think he's fine. But I'm personally really happy because I think there's so many people like you that were kind of like, okay, like game's fine, whatever. But just give me Daredevil. You've given me 1,000 ally cards of him. Like, I would like to play him, please. And when I look in the custom content community, there's like 50 versions of him, and they're all very good. So, it's it's great to see that he's finally becoming available. Well, he's not available yet, right? You never know what's going to happen in July. I mean, a ship could blow up and then it's all gone.
You never know. And the funniest thing is, I'm now more looking forward to Echo than Daredevil. I think she looks like a hero I'd enjoy so much. So
Me too.
here we are.
Me too. Echo looks crazy fun. And that's why I'm excited for Jessica Jones. Because not that Jessica Jones isn't like a biggish name, right? She had a TV show, I guess, and whatever. She has a bonkers Justice Ally card. But I feel like this is another hero that they can just like really have fun with. And there's quote unquote low expectations as far as like the hero goes that they could maybe rip something wild out. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's got to have something crazy going on. I feel like I don't know if this was a live stream or just some random person on Discord, but I'm pretty sure I had like she's meant to have like a really interesting, like unusual design, but I have no idea.
Yeah, neither do I. Michael says retired folks come back as part-time consultants. Oh, that's good. Villain Theory is a consultant. That's why he charges so much. We have to actually go through this fast because he's charging me like by the hour, and it's crazy. So, Dart says, "Who told FFG to drop an article today? I was not prepared. Give me all the takes." Yeah, there was rumors swirling because I guess they said on a live stream, right, that they were doing something the by the end of the month, and everyone's like, "Well, this is the end of the month, so I guess today."
Wow.
Bardic, welcome to chat. High D20 Villain Theory. Lesser known characters equals more interesting kits. 100%. Mm-hmm. I agree. Okay, Villain. So we know nothing about Jessica Jones besides that she is a human and has a justice card. What do you think knowing nothing about this article yet, do you think will be her hook or something that she does or something interesting? Doesn't have to be the whole thing. Maybe just like a little something. Or if you want to go crazy and try to guess entirely what she is, you can go for that as well.
I feel like the obvious thing with her would be side schemes, right? She's an
Mm-hmm.
investigator. We've got the skilled investigator card in the game already. The Jessica Jones ally runs off side schemes. But I don't know. I was talking in Discord to someone about it, and Iceman, we all thought was gonna have a bunch of stuns. Then he had all this whole frostbite mechanic. I think she could have something kind of like. I think if she does do side schemes, it'll be like a really unique, like wildly different take to Cable. Like maybe she'll interact with them differently. Maybe it should be like Tigra, like a side scheme farmer. I have no idea.
Mm.
Um, But I don't have any solid takes except I do hope she's really weird and unusual.
I agree. I agree with you. I think it's gonna be side scheme focused. My guess is there's gonna be 3 to 5 side schemes in her deck that go out there and you have to kind of thwart off of it, and it's going to do something powerful in like damage wise, like massive amounts of damage, massive amounts of thwarting, whatever it may be, each time you clear it, and then you get like some small bonus and then it shuffles back in or something like that. That is gonna be my guess of what she's like.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything, but it'd be cool if she can snoop the encounter deck to stop treacheries as well as thwarting. Yeah, I mean, they might just give her everything. But she might be the next Maria Hill for all we know. So why not at this point?
Mm.
Okay, so on the case, presenting a.
I mm.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I was just thinking about it. I feel like Jessica Jones, her superpower is she's really strong, but like that's not the interesting thing about her. It's like the personality and the investigation thing. So I was just thinking maybe she's got like 2 token cards for the strength, and then everything else is investigation.
Yeah, I want like snarky flavor text as well. I don't know if she's actually snarky or not, but like just her attitude seems snarky, like in a good way. And I want that. I don't know if that's a thing, but I would enjoy that greatly. All
We'll
right, so
see.
on the case, presenting a first look at the Jessica Jones hero pack for Marvel Champions, the card game. And we got a picture of her, I guess, punching a wall with pizza place in the background. Super important. Hopefully that's a support card is pizza, because then she will automatically be one of my favorite heroes because I'm addicted to pizza. So why not? Okay, so briefly known as the costume hero Jewel. Did not know that, but okay. Jessica Jones' life came to a screeching halt when the supervillain Purple Man kept her as a psychologically or physiology a controlled prisoner for 8 months. Once she managed to escape the abuse, she built alias investigations to help her or help those with nowhere else to go. Now, she and her husband Luke Cage are splitting their time between fighting the good fight and raising their baby girl, Danielle, quote unquote, Danny Cage. Fantasy Flight Games is proud to announce Jessica Jones, the hero pack for Marvel Champions, the card game. As a stalwart member of the Defenders, maybe that's purposeful, Jessica Jones enters the fray with the
Hmm.
expansion pack, which introduces her as a new playable hero alongside her 16 signature cards. Paired with a pre built Justice deck, who would have guessed? To aid her in thwarting the villain's schemes, you'll be able to wield Jessica Jones's impressive detective skills and equally impressive strength. Villain theory, this is sounding like you already. From the moment you open the box. With the unique ability to defeat the villain outright purely through thwarting, Jessica Jones brings a totally
What?
new play style to the game. Okay,
Okay. There's a lot there's a lot going on here.
there is. So I think you're going to be kind of right with that. She could do some crazy power stuff. I think it's going to be the side scheme stuff. I don't know. Somebody's hot
Yeah.
take. Raymond says that she will be stronger than a full built-out Ironheart, and I want her obligation to be attending
Wow.
AA meetings based on the Netflix show. Okay, so we got some cards. We'll skip them until we get into. So, all right, alter ego card. Jessica Jones, 4 recovery, 6 hand size, 11 hit points, very respectable. Incognito mode, you change to hero form. You cannot change back to alter ego this phase. Okay, that seems like kind of what she does in general, but okay, that's fine, I guess. And your setup is to put the alias investigations support into play. Okay.
Okay, so that's why she's got 16 cards. That's the bonus one.
Yeah. All right, so hero size drops to 5 hand size, 11 hit points still. 3-2-1 stat line, which is great. She's one of her
Wow.
3 thwarters, right? Because I guess the other one's Phoenix, right?
we've got kind of like Phoenix, we've got kind of Psylocke, and if you level up
Mm,
Ironheart, it's technically printed on the card, but she doesn't start with it. So
yeah. All
yeah,
right.
I think actual printed it is Phoenix.
Okay. So, alter ego side, she's a civilian. So we're seeing civilian side. Hero side, she's a defender. And gather evidence. Response. After you use a basic power, place one evidence counter on alias investigations. So,
Okay.
this different approach is already apparent when you look at alter ego Jessica Jones' form, which puts her signature permanent support card alias investigations into play. So, we have a null cost support, it's a location permanent, 1 out of 16. A response. After a side scheme is defeated, exhaust this card. Place 2 evidence counters here. Then you may remove evidence counters here or from here equal to the villain's remaining hit points to defeat the villain's current stage. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So I want to get all 20 on to just like one shot people now at this point.
Yeah, I mean it's the equal to the villain's remaining hit points. I was trying to think in multiplayer, like if I'm like fighting Mojo, an expert 4 player, and he's got like 100 million health or something, like
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to do a lot of investigating. But actually, you just weaken him and then you like finish him off. But it's kind of like Ironheart, like with the progress counters building them up, you can then like finish someone off. So yeah, kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
We
it's
see the
interesting.
side scheme thing, obviously.
Yeah, and you can't do straight damage, right? So it has to finish them off. So it's not like you can like, hey, I'm just gonna chip some damage or whatever. Like it has to be the killing blow to defeat the villain's current stage, which is a nice little tweak to it.
Hmm. I think this seems potentially very good.
Yes. Yes. I like so far. All right. So this support gives Jessica access to an all new way to defeat the villain outright without necessarily having to attack them, which I guess is another true point, too, that this is not an attack. So if you're stunned or whatever, doesn't matter. You can still just do this, which is great. And most of her kit revolves around this card. In hero form, she can place evidence counters on alias investigations each time she uses a basic power. Since there's no limit to the number of times you could do this per phase, being able to ready your identity cards with or ready your identity with cards like Breakthrough becomes especially important to Jessica's game plan. So Breakthrough is a zero cost event. Terrible artwork. I'm not a fan of this. But anyway, response after an investigate or after an evidence counter is placed on alias investigations, ready your identity, shuffle this card back into your deck. So we'll be able to cycle this and
I
after
mean,
ready yourself up to
this
put
this
more counters on.
this just seems really good, right? Like it's zero cost. I ready my identity, and I've got free forwarding stat baseline. Like this just seems good. After an evidence counter is placed, but if using a basic power places one, this is just free. It's like as long as I'm not exhausted, I feel like this just kind of works.
Yeah. So you exhaust thwart 3 or attack 2 or whatever you want to do. And then that places the evidence counter. And then, play this or play this and then do that. And then ready your identity and then just shuffle it back in. If you get your card draw on top of it and you can spam this, like forget about it. All right. So breakthrough, blah, blah. Okay. Of course, Jessica's basic powers aren't the only way she can add counters to alias investigations. For starters, the card itself can gain some counters once per round when you defeat a side scheme, including a player side scheme, giving you even more incentive to take them out. Thanks to her alter ego ability, Incognito Mode, Jess can flip down to make use of card. So wait, is that what they're doing? Oh, so they're saying that you can flip down normally and then use your action to flip back up is what the okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's making sense now. So cards like snooping around. So another zero call. Oh, she's got bird watching book. This is my
Falcon?
spirit animal. No, get Falcon out of here. He's in the trash where he belongs. I just like to watch
No.
birds. We can go about that later. Okay, so a zero cost event to thwart alter ego action. Okay. Remove 4 threat from a scheme and place 2 evidence counters on alias investigations. Discard the top card of the encounter deck. If that card is a minion or side scheme, reveal it. So if it's a minion, maybe not as good, but if it's a side scheme, you're already building that engine to like keep it running. And now you're removing 4 threat from a scheme, placing your 2 counters on, which if you're in alter ego form, right, it won't trigger the yeah, it won't trigger the hero because it's not basic, which is fine. But
Mm.
alias investigator is just a response. So if you defeat the side scheme doing that, then you could put two more counters on. So a potential of
Yeah.
four, and then discard a top card, and then you could flip back up and then exhaust again to put another counter on, which five.
Mm. This just looks like incredible to me. I'm reading it through again. Zero cost, remove full threat, and then two evidence counters, which is effectively like two damage on the villain, kind of. So
Yeah.
like zero cost, four threat removal, and two villain damage. There is obviously the downside. It's funny that I mentioned Falcon. I wonder if that bird watching thing is a nod because if Falcon's showing you the top of the deck all the time, this is free. There's no bad thing in
Mm,
multiplayer. But
yeah.
aside from that, you're using like scrying effects maybe to try and like see the top card. It's risky, but it feels like infiltration. Maybe if there's a minion, you get a bad thing, but otherwise, incredibly crazy costed, like really
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only downside is that okay, if you're confused, you can't do this, right? Because it's a thwart action, so you have to be careful with that. Though she's a stalwart hero, which maybe we'll see what that means in a second. So that might just negate my only worry about that whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, for threat removal and alter ego on a free event. You know what's funny? We were talking about this the other day with Gambit, right? Like the whole like alter ego, like removing threat, and it seems like they want to lean into that more, which is great. And they're just making it easier, like definitely for solo players. Like this is already strong for solo play, which is kind of crazy. Really quick, let me catch up with chat. So Johnny, welcome to chat. Bet she comes with a ton of side schemes. Schmandy, my 1%. Team up D20 and villain theory, love it. Thanks for the stream, guys. Mongoose says curious to see how she scales in multiplayer. She'll be bonkers in solo. Mastermind, yo, we got a new hero. Welcome to chat. LK, welcome to chat. I like this art in the comic it comes from, but here it's weird to have Armadillo next to her. Some art won't look good for card art. Out of control, welcome to chat. Two of the best together discussing one of the best games ever. Good late morning here, gentlemen. Well, villain theory carries me, so like I'm mid tier, he's god tier, so it just pulls us up to like
Nah,
good. So that's fine. Or I drag him down. He pulls me up, I drag him down.
no, no. I'm retired and I'm just here trying to relive my glory days.
There you go. LW, welcome to chat. D20 live stream during the day at work, and it's not even my birthday. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. So without losing my okay, so if stooping around reveals a minion size game, simply use incognito mode to flip to hero form and take that minion scheme out, relying on circumstantial evidence, which is a one cost upgrade. Item card response. After an enemy is defeated, exhaust circumstantial evidence, place one evidence counter on alias investigations. So even if you're dealing with minions and whatnot, or I guess if you knock out the villain too, or the first stage of the villain,
Mm.
place a counter on there. So we're just piling up counters, dude.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned Gambit because I feel like Gambit's staff is like it'll put one damage on the enemy, right?
Mhm.
If I'm following it correctly, all your evidence is going toward defeating the villain, right? So it's almost like putting a damage on the enemy when you defeat an enemy this way. Then it's just a one cost upgrade that made me think of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of minions. It seems good. I kind of unless there's something else you use evidence counters for. This seems to me like defeat a minion, one damage for the villain.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Or stakeout to get even more counters on. So stakeout is zero cost upgrade. Man, do cards even cost anything anymore? Is just everything free
No.
99? Zero cost upgrade, stakeout tactic card. Okay, so action. If this card is in your play area, attach it to a non-permanent encounter side scheme. So it has to be encounter side scheme, can't be a player side scheme. Interrupt.
Yep.
When a character thwarts attached scheme, that thwart removes two additional threat. If that thwart defeats attached scheme, place two evidence counters on alias investigations.
Okay, I mean, this just seems like another really good card, but only if you've got a true, enemy encounter side scheme. So, but just zero upgrade, remove two threat when fought it. Two bonus threat seems nice. Then if I defeat it, more evidence. But if I need to keep removing threat, I mean, this is a multiplayer like powerhouse card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because side schemes scale up per person. So I slap this on this 12 threat side scheme in four player, and like 10 characters fought it, and it's like 20 bonus threat removal and I don't know if I'm reading that right. It just doesn't go away until that side scheme is gone. So This is
Yeah.
very good. Solo less useful, but if you're running like stuff to get side schemes, which seems like she might want, even better.
Yeah, like there's sometimes that you have certain encounter sets that like dump more scheme on side schemes, right? And they can kind of run out or they can kind of run away from you on solo players. So if you're
Mm,
thwarting for your 3 plus now 2, I mean 5 in solo play, I mean okay, I'm clearing it and now I'm getting essentially 3 evidence counters, right? Because 2 off of this
mm.
card and 1 for using my basic thing. So it's your 3 damage on your villain plus thwarting 5 for a 0 cost upgrade. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there should be something else I can say here. It just seems very, very good.
Yeah. And let's see. Michael said it doesn't say you defeat what with circumstantial evidence. Yeah, just after an enemy is defeated.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. Yeah. So if multiplayer, if I don't defeat it, it doesn't matter. Like if you're playing aggression, I'm justice, and you defeat something, then I'll just exhaust this, right?
Mm. I wanna talk about the theme here a little bit, which is not what I typically do, but I really like that, someone's knocked out this minion, you search the body, you find the note, you find the password to, I don't know, the enemy. She's
Mm-hmm.
finding the evidence here, and the stakeout kind of makes sense. I guess there's some weird side schemes to stake out, but the theme is coming through here. Like so far, I don't think we've seen any super strength. It's just all investigate, investigate, investigate.
Yeah, and I guess like her strength right now so far is the alias thing, right? The alias investigators, because that can potentially do a ton of damage. I mean, like even thinking about this, if you're just building this whole thing and you're chugging along through stage 1 and stage 2 comes in with like as a solo player 20 health, let's say, and you're
Mm.
able to like build it up. Okay, you knock out stage 1 yourself, and then I just use alias and just like one shot the villain. Like also wait, would it go around tough?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking. I'm just thinking like knock Ronan over. Oh, there's a tough. Delete him. That's what it
Yeah.
looks like to me.
That that's so powerful.
How quickly do we think these counters are going to build up? We haven't seen the whole kit, but like turn one, turn two, turn three, turn four. Let's just say 5 turns, like kind of normal for like some games at least. That's 5 counters. That's 5 damage. But I'm probably racking up, another 5, 10. Like by the time I get to the final villain stage, I've already got like half of the damage ready, right? That's what I'm kind of
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't seem like it'll be that hard as long as I think we kind of mentioned this a little bit before that the encounter deck will probably have to have some side schemes in it. If you're playing something that doesn't have many, it might be a little tougher, but I don't think it'll be like super hard. But that's I guess how you make it harder for yourself. We'll see if she has some minion slaying stuff as well, because dealing 2 damage to the minion and we haven't really seen an attack event yet. That's who knows with that. Maybe that's what you have to use your aspect cards for, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so it's stakeout. So if the minion is a little too here we go. If the minion is a little too durable to take out in one turn, have Jess don her signature leather jacket to help her get through the villain phase and add yet another counter alias investigator. So hey, 2 cost upgrade. So 2 cost upgrade, leather jacket. Jessica Jones gets +2 defense,
Wow.
and after you defend, guess what you get to do? Place 1 evidence counter on alias, plus you use it as a basic thing, so that's actually 2 alias counters on, right? Because you use the basic defend, so you
Mhm.
get that on your main hero, plus you get for this, and you have 3 defense. Okay, +2 defense.
I mean, I just thinking about like Captain Marvel and Corsair just for a second. She's got that helmet that adds to her defense, but nobody uses it because like she's got better things to do and she can
Mhm.
self heal. Jess, I'm thinking with her alter ego action, that's her change form. She can like flip alter ego, recover for 4, then just flip back to hero form, right? So I
Mm.
guess if she's gonna defend, she has to have a high defense stat to make it worth using over 3 defense or 4 recovery. So like this, I think it had to be good, but definitely +2 defense is nice, and then double the evidence counters you get for defending. I mean, if you take like a readying defense deck, this again is more multiplayer, I guess, because there's only so many attacks in solo normally, but
Yeah.
could rack up a lot of counters here. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so really quick, chat. If we don't get a reprint of Skilled Investigator, I'll be genuinely shocked. That's true. Skilled investigator would be good on this. If her nemesis,
Mhm.
hey Raymond, welcome to chat. If her nemesis is Purple Man, there will be a lot of confused statuses. Schmanny, I got destroyed by Madame Hydra the other day. Her thwart powers against her would be cool. So far, do you both find Jessica more thematic than Daredevil?
Ooh, I feel like this is aimed at me because I had some issues with Daredevil starting off, like, but I'm not going to go into that here. I'm going to say yes because I'm getting evidence, I'm investigating stuff. Um, Makes sense to me. I like everything I've seen so far. I do see another comment. I'm gonna skip to this one and read this one out by EMPN5KQ,
Mm-hmm.
and they say it's thematically comical that a leather jacket triples her initial defensive capability. I think that's really funny. Um, but I feel like she probably feels really comfortable in that leather jacket. Maybe she's self assured in that, and I don't know. Maybe it contributes that way.
Yeah, maybe there's some like crazy defensive padding, like it's like a biker
Oh
jacket that
yeah.
pads, and like there's a lot of them
Mhm.
though. I don't know, but yeah. um, do we think Red Skull will wreck this? No, I think she'll wreck Red Skull because you're guaranteed side scheme. So I just clear it, and I'm gonna
Oh
put so
yeah.
many counters in. Like she will wreck Red Skull, not the other way around. Um, Goes around Civil War Stage 2 where they cannot take damage. Yeah. Well, yeah, because it doesn't do damage to them, right? It just deletes them.
Yep.
Okay. Do you think she's overpowered? Well, we'll see. We have the rest of the kit to go through. She's looking strong. I think that's fair to say at this point. Thanks for the follow, Trenton. Did you mention the fact that she has 11 health and 4 recovery? Sure did, which is solid. MJ, welcome to chat. Living for Games, welcome to chat. You can't find a side scheme in Red Skull, though, right? No, but they're constantly out there, right? So, like stakeout, you just place it on whatever the side scheme is.
Oh, hold on. Go back to Stakeout a second. This is the disadvantage where I'm trying to read off like the stream kind of thing here. I'm just following what D20 does. You use it as an action. So you play this and it just sits there and waits for the side scheme, which makes it way more consistent than most attachments. I
Mm.
was looking like I saw an interrupt and I don't know. I didn't fully comprehend exactly where this went. So it's not action, attach it to the side scheme. It's action. It would sit there. Yeah, okay. This stakeout looks even like way better than I thought.
Yeah, you can just pop it out there, let it chill if there's no side schemes, and then when one pops out, be like, "Oh, by the way, let's plop this over there right now as an action." Because if we're playing two player, right, you can call on me for an action. I can just plop it over there, and then you can start doing your thing or whatever, and you can just go crazier with it. It's a literal
Amazing.
stakeout. It really is a literal stakeout. It's thematically very good.
Amazing card.
um, Tabletop Plastic, thank you for the sub, dude. 2 months, I appreciate it. And does it remain when you kill the side scheme and then you can reattach? No. So if when a character thwarts attached scheme, no, because you have to attach it to it, right? So that
Yeah.
thwart removes 2 additional threat. If that thwart defeats attached side scheme, place 2 counters. No, it would come off then because it's attached. If it was on your board, then yes, it would just chill, and that would be way too strong and too powerful. Um, I think it won't work on side scheme from a mod set. Yeah, it
It
will.
will.
It will. It just won't work on a player side scheme. That's the only time you can't use it.
I see what it means. Like I see how you would come to that like kind of thought though, because encounter side scheme makes you think like it's from like the villains, like encounter
Yeah.
specific. But yeah, it just means non-player.
Yeah. Okay, so that was leather jacket. Okay, so even with so many ways of adding evidence counters to alias investigations, sometimes you may not be able to build them up fast enough for your liking. Is that the problem we're having right now?
Doesn't look like it at a glance, but hey, more counters.
but maybe, yeah. When that happens, you can always spend some of those counters to deal with the villain's forces the old-fashioned way,
Mm.
such as a card like Big Mistake, letting you punch the villain. So Big Mistake, hey, a 1 cost event. It's an attack card, hero action. Deal 3 damage to an enemy, so 1 for 3 damage. You may remove 1 evidence counter from alias investigations to deal 2 additional damage, and for this attack to gain either overkill or piercing. So
Okay.
1 for 5, losing an evidence counter, you can pierce or overkill.
I think one cost for 3 damage is like it's good. It's more aspect level than hero level. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like mind blowing, but like it's very playable if you didn't want to spend evidence. Like I would be fine. I wouldn't even blink.
Yeah.
Uh, but getting 2 additional damage on demand just to like clear the board, good. But I'm just thinking, getting overkill or piercing on demand is so powerful. They're so useful. It's just problem solved. I mean, the enemy did make a big mistake, so I guess the name is very apt.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's crazy. Because I mean, how many times have you like you wished? Hey, Trent, thank you for subbing with your prime sub. I appreciate it, dude. So, how many times do you wish that, like, oh man, if I just had overkill in this situation, or if I had piercing? Because sometimes you have a hero that does one or the other. But the fact that you can get either one of them, dealer's choice. Okay, okay.
I think that's really good.
My God.
There's so much tough these days, so
Yeah, yeah. Tough was definitely a way we were slowing things down, and Jessica Jones seems to not care, which is great. So, letting you punch the villain really hard, or Jess's 4K digital camcorder. Do the Utes even know what a camcorder is? But that's all right. Two cost upgrade. 4K digital camcorder is an item. Alter ego action. Exhaust this card and choose a non-elite minion. Remove X evidence counters from alias investigations, where X is equal to 2 less than the minion's remaining hit points. Discard that minion. So, key thing there, discarded, right? So that would go around one defeated, I assume.
yeah, it precisely.
And if they have 4 life, we're moving 2 counters to kill 4 life, right?
hmm
On
It's kind
alter
of
ego.
like the attack card. It seems like 2 counters equals 2 damage in a way, but with benefits like overkill and piercing on the other one. Or here it's
Mm,
discard it, so it'll bypass certain effects.
yeah. And again, not an attack. So if she's stunned, she doesn't care. That's fine. That's just absolutely wild. Really quick, Infectious Zombie, thank you for using your or your subbing to the channel today. I appreciate it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I like this. It's an upgrade. It's reusable.
yeah, it just chills. And like you're flipping down to alter ego anyway. So like you can literally flip down on your turn, right? Because your alter ego
Yep.
ability just lets you flip back up for funsies anyway. So flip this down. Maybe you play a thwart card, you exhaust this, you do your thing, whatever, and flip back up. Like this is a solo player's dream at this point.
Yeah, I think this card is. It seems to me like these attack cards. We've got overkill or piercing. That's piercing can be good for the villain, but you're probably more using it on minions overall.
Mhm.
I'm guessing, like especially with the damage like 3 to 5, and this is like for non-elite minions. Feels like clean up the minions with these cards and then build up the evidence for the villain. Is kind of the feeling I'm getting here.
Yeah, yeah. Andrew says he's glad it's 4K and not standard def. I can't even look at standard definition. It's disgusting. Link,
Yeah.
thank you for the bits, dude. I appreciate it. Well, it's funny too, because like what in 5 years it's all 8K or 16K or who knows. All right, so that's that. We have more still. So letting you discard a pesky minion from play. If things get especially dicey, you can have Jess call in favors. It's a 1 cost support alter ego action. Remove 2 evidence counters from alias investigations and exhaust calling in favors. Search your deck for an ally and play it as if it were in your hand, reducing its resource cost by 2.
So I can phone up Maria Hill was my first thought.
Yeah. Maria Hill, get a
uh,
Nick Fury in cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be in your deck. So once you've played it, it's in your discard pile. You can't like
Mm.
keep recurring it like with this. But it seems quite useful to get allies on demand. 2 evidence counters, I guess it's like 4 damage I could have done to the villain, or with the damage things we just saw. Basically, it's cost me 4 damage to get a 2 cost discount on an ally, and find that ally, which is like another card in my hand. Normally, if I
Mhm.
play an ally, has to be in my hand and go. And it plays it as if the ally was in your hand, which is actually quite strong. So a lot of those characters where you don't get the benefit from the interplay effect unless it's from hand will all work with this. I think it seems pretty good.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like leadership White Tiger. I think she has to be played from your hand, and whatever the villain stage is, you get to draw cards on top of that, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So again, now we're playing White Tiger instead for 3. I think she's 3 cost. She's now a 1 coster, and getting to play that. Yeah, that just seems crazy. Not a good use of evidence, but I love that the camcorder can help Herc defeat the Hydra Labor. I don't think he can, because I think Hercules has to attack the Hydra Labor by himself, right? I don't
I
think he'd
think
be able to do that.
I was gonna say I think the labor makes that minion elite
Oh,
when it's
that's
not
true.
previously elite, so it definitely doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, but all right, calling in favors solid, love it. And then we have one more thing: to grab an ally from her deck at a discount, such as her husband and crime-fighting partner Luke Cage. What? I mean, this has to be at least 3 costs, right? We've not seen anything that's 3 costs yet.
What if it's 2 cost and goes back into your deck afterwards, so you can always keep calling him?
No, 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 don't do that. All right, 3 costs, thank God. Okay, so Luke Cage, 3 costs, 2/2/3 stat line, but his thwarting and attacking each has 2 consequential. It's a wild card. Comes in with toughness. Action, exhaust Luke Cage and deal 1 damage to him. Give him a tough status card. So basically, keep getting him as a blocker so that you don't have to worry about taking damage. I think that's pretty
Wow.
solid.
I think this is really good. I mean, the mathematical way to see this, getting nerdy for a second, like, he takes up some of your ally limit, whatever, but he
Mhm.
comes in with a tough, I block an attack. I use the action, he's got another tough. I can do that. He's like 3 tough cards, and then you could chump block with him if you want to go full defensive.
Yeah,
It's very slow because you have to exhaust him,
right.
so it take a lot of turns to pull it off. But mathematically, what you pay for the damage blocked is very high. Um, it just seems good.
Yeah, that's the only, I guess, downside I agree with. Like when he defends to exhaust, well, now you have to find a way to ready him up to trigger it again. So it's like every other turn. But if I were wearing a sweet leather jacket, I don't mind defending now and again for 3 defense, and getting another counter on to help get more things out there. So
Or you just take the damage, go Ultra heal for 4, and then flip back down. No upgrade necessary, and it just seems very good.
it seems a bit strong. I'll say that. So this will be the last thing with her. We'll get into the aspects. So we can fan through these again, but all right. Do you want to start with hot takes, or do you want me to start with hot takes?
I feel like you're the hot take guy, and no offense, I feel like you own that, so I feel like it would be sensible for you to begin.
So, she seems very powerful. I think that's evidence. I love this idea of the alias investigations. This idea that, well, except for one of her upgrades or supports that's doing the damage, but for the most part, again, if I'm building it up throughout the entire stage 1 and I'm being really careful about this, that I can just delete the villain on stage 2 essentially. Even in multiplayer, I think this is gonna be great because you're probably gonna have by the second stage, whether it's stage 2 or stage 3 in a multiplayer game, you're gonna have somebody probably really being aggressive and attacking a lot, and let them do their thing and whatever, and then you just have to go out there and make sure that a side scheme is defeated. The only thing that I found interesting with her thing is that she doesn't have a side scheme yet, at least, and we can count cards in a second, but she doesn't have one, which I kind of expected her to have a bit to make this a little bit easier. So maybe we're going to be leaning more into player side schemes. We might see more of them, or it might be important for us to just put in the ones that we have. I would hope that they would have some in the box and whatnot, because some of the player side schemes are a little tough to get nowadays because things are going out of print. So that's the only tricky thing with the side scheme. I thought she would have 1 or 2 or something. So it's still powerful. You just have to be careful when you do that, I think. I think
Mm.
her 3-2-1 stat line is insane for 3 thwarting. It's a solo player's dream. Being able to easily get alias investigations on it leads into being able to do ready up builds, right, and kind of spam this. I think will be really good and solid. Breakthrough, I think, is solid. After an evidence counter is placed on your alias, you get to ready up. So this is the ready up build we're kind of talking about. It doesn't cost anything. That's crazy. Snooping around, team bird watching. Let's go. The alter ego thwart, I think, is just so strong. At 0 for 4 is just still mind blowing to me. And then placing 2 investigated counters on. Hopefully, it gets you those minions and side schemes faster. After an enemy is defeated, exhaust circumstantial evidence, which is crazy. Again, it's just a response, so you don't have to do it. So it's a multiplayer's dream. It works good for you too if you're dealing damage or you have a strong ally deck. The stakeout card, like we said, just chills on your board until you decide to put it out in the side scheme, so you don't have to worry about holding it in your hand or anything like that. So it's not taking up space. Leather jacket +2 defense is absolutely crazy. After you defend, you're placing an evidence count, which basically means you're placing 2 because your hero action does the 2 basic ones. Or I'm sorry, does 1 basic and this does 1 more. Big mistake, 1 for 3 damage is okay, but now we're moving an evidence counter to deal 5 damage, gaining either overkill or piercing. That's crazy. The 4K digital camera to exhaust an alter ego, remove evidence counters, where again, if it's like a 4 life minion, you remove 2 counters to basically delete that minion. great. And it's discarding, so they have one defeated effects. You're just going around those. You don't even have to worry about that. Calling in favors to remove, one cost support, alter ego action, remove 2 evidence counters to look for an ally in your deck. Like Villain Theory said, it can't be in your discard pile. Makes them 2 cheaper. You get a Maria Hill, you get an Ironheart, whatever in there a bit cheaper to get you some card draw as well. And then Luke Cage seems like a great addition to be able to search for Luke Cage to help block a little bit if need be. I don't know if I really do like a ready up build or like a sidekick build with him, but maybe somebody crazy wants to do something with that. So I like what she's working with thematically here. I think it's really interesting. I think it's really cool. It's unique. It's different. We haven't seen it, and that's what I always like to see is something unique and different. I think it's cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah. I'm looking at that leather jacket and I'm wondering, does she have like a forwarding version or an aggression version? Something that like rewards her for using her other basic powers and getting a counter for doing that. I mean, the forwarding stat one would seem maybe a little strong. Maybe it wouldn't boost the stat, but I'm just kind of curious about that. I was trying to look at the card numbers. I think cards 13 and maybe 14 and 15 are maybe not accounted for. So that could be like an attack and fort, one of those, maybe just a fort. Could be wrong.
Yeah. So
Um,
we have Alias, which is 1, and then Luke will be 2, right? So yeah, Luke is 2, and then 4 is, or Big Mistake is 3, card print is 4, which means, oh, so there's 5 is something different, right? Snooping around is 6/6.
I think 5 is the incredibly powerful breakthrough card. That 0 cost. We're talking about that for the
Oh
alter
yeah,
ego 0 cost that removes 4 threat, and that's really good. This is kind of a 0 cost remove 3 threat. Breakthrough. It's just really good, and it gives you evidence.
yeah.
So
So all right, so we'll get one copy of Big Mistake, one copy. Wait, no, 2 copies of Big Mistake, 1 copy of Breakthrough, and then
yep.
Snooping around is 6. All right, next is 10, 10/8, and this is 6/6, so 6/7. So there's two copies of Snooping Around then?
I would guess so. I mean, it's like probably her main forwarding card, I suppose, because Jessica,
Yeah.
she does snoop around, so makes
So
sense to me.
2 copies of, wait, no. Wait,
I'm
6.
getting confused.
So wait, 6/6 is Snooping Around. In between Snooping, okay, so 6/6 is Snooping Around. Then Calling in Favors is 2 cards down, but it's a 10. So that means there's 1 new card in between those, and we don't know how many of Snooping Around or the new card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, I don't think she's going to struggle with threat removal with free forwarding baseline, a ready card that shuffles back into your deck, and probably at least 2 snooping around. So that seems very good so far.
That does seem very good. All right, Calling in Favors is 10 as 16. 11 as 16 is our 4K digital camera. 12 is Evidence. 13 is the leather jacket. And that leaves us with 14 and 15 unaccounted for. Because then 16 is Stakeout. Rox is saying that there's another card down at the bottom that talks about that. So we'll have to see that relates to her.
Okay.
All right. Before we see that other card in these aspect cards, hot takes, Villain.
Hot takes seems very, very good. It's hard to say without seeing it in play. We often see like hero stuff and it looks incredible. It doesn't always work out that way. But some of these 0 cost things doing a lot of stuff seems really, really nice. It seems like you don't have to even worry about factoring in like villain damage to your game plan too much because you can just smite them with evidence, which, hey, great. I want to read that again.
Which
They
one?
remove evidence from here. Alliance investigations. I'm just reading the last sentence. You remove counters equal to the villain's remaining hit points, defeat the current stage. I mean, that's just incredible. I feel like, we talked about getting around Civil War second stages. I wonder if there's more villains that kind of gets around.
Mm.
I feel like that could be, potentially very useful. But yeah, I mean, it just seems good. I'd have to like look at all the cards, go through the card counts like you were doing, see how much like the average deck pass, how many evidence counters I think you might get. And something we haven't talked about, actually, I want to bring up. The alter ego ability, letting her basically never have to go alter ego. Like she goes alter ego, but she can always end in hero form if she wants. So good for solo. but all the form changing aspect cards like Lay Down the Law and Perseverance
Mm,
are gonna have like 100% hit rate with her. She won't even blink. She'll just flip down, flip back, use it. So I think that's a huge boost as well. So I mean, it just looks good. Looks like the threat removal is on lock, bring a bit of damage, and the villain will fall over just by you playing the game. So
yeah.
kind of, I think that flipping down and recovering for 4 is going to be extraordinarily good.
Yeah, it's definitely a good recovery. And I mean, again, 11 hit points. I thought she was going to be closer to 9. I mean, it makes sense with her having super strength and whatever, but I thought
Mm.
she'd be a little bit less. So the fact that she has 11, I think is crazy. Mongoose said the thematics of investigating Thanos or Apocalypse to death is hilarious to me.
That is really funny.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's just, she's crazy. She's crazy. I don't know if she'll be stronger than Echo or Daredevil at this point. Maybe not Daredevil, but you're right. And we'll see how much evidence counters you can build when you actually
She
play. But
she will start quote unquote weaker for some of these cards, right? Because she won't start with any evidence. And if
mhm,
there's no side scheme out, you're gonna basic thwart for 3, or maybe a punch for 2, and you've got 1. So if I start with calling in favors turn 1, I can't actually use it. If I start Alter Ego, I can't use it. But turn 2, I could. And again, just summoning any ally you want, like from your deck. If I've got a problem, I can bring a damage one out, or if I've got a threat removal thing, I'm probably fine. I'm Jessica Jones, but
oops.
I just think the control over that seems very, very nice. So, I mean, I don't see anything bad. I think, I'm looking at 4K digital camcorder, non-elite. So on a scenario where most of the minions are elite, which is kind of rare, but they are out there. Or there are some which are like 50-50.
Mhm.
It's not terrible, but it's just a factor. So sometimes that won't be as good. Um, but all looks really nice. Like we didn't see a single bad card, and I think most of these cards really impressed us.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're right. The elite minions might slow you down a little bit. So with incognito being in action, hold on, let's bring that up. Where is incognito?
On
Incognito
her,
mode being in action, she can flip up to hero during anyone's turn. Is
mhm.
that useful in any strategies?
You'd have to start alter ego, and I feel like a lot of the strength of this is to be starting hero form, then go alter ego, and then like come back down. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. Sitting in alter ego, there's probably something weird interaction with it, but I'm not super worried about that. Is
I,
what I'm
I think
thinking.
the only thing I'm thinking is if you're multiplayer and the other person's first player, right? I can draw a bigger hand size, and then they can call on me as an action, so their villain's not scheming, and I can flip up. Maybe that's the one thing you do.
You can't. The action can only still be done in the hero phase, so I think
Oh,
there's
okay. Oh
there's
yeah,
sort of
okay.
a.
Yeah,
It's
that
definitely
makes
very
sense.
interesting. I think you made a good point. They're doing more alter ego stuff. Daredevil thwarts in alter ego. So does Jessica Jones, even if she can always get back to hero. So I'm potentially wondering if they're going to do any more alter ego, like threat removal support, alter ego shenanigans support, if they're pushing alter ego a little bit more, possibly.
Hmm.
Um, the other thing I had a crazy thought about, you got to reveal face the past, which is such a funny thing. They definitely trolled you. Could there be like a face the past for the side scheme, bringing like your nemesis side scheme? Just a thing that I feel like if they were gonna do it, this character might be kind of interesting for.
I would like that. That'd be fun. So all right, let's look at her aspect cards. So she's Justice. We'll look at these cards in a second. So Jessica Jones already has plenty of potent tools in her signature kit, but that doesn't mean she won't appreciate extra assistance from elsewhere. That's where the rest of her pre-built Justice deck comes in! Exclamation point. Her best friend, Captain Marvel, is a
Did not
four
know that.
cost, yeah, right, 4 cost Justice ally. 2 thwart, 3 attack, but 2 consequential damage on the attack, 1 on the thwart, 3 life. She's an aerial avenger. Response: after Captain Marvel enters play, discard the top 4 cards of your deck for each discarded or for if you discard, sorry, if you discard a printed energy resource, remove 2 threat from a scheme. If you discard more than 1 printed energy resource, also confuse the enemy. So if you do an energy build deck, you're just gonna start confusing and removing threat like crazy.
Yeah, this is like a parody of like or maybe that's the wrong word, but like a new version of the leadership, um, huge cost Captain Marvel that discards, and if you get energies, it's damage and stun. This one is threat removal and confuse. I love seeing a new Avenger ally. I didn't expect to get any of those in this wave. I love seeing Ariel as
Mhm.
well. There's kind of like people that will like this, builds that will like both of those just for those keywords. But we have a lot of energy heroes now, right? We have like Wonder Man, Iron Man. So I didn't look at what Jessica Jones has, but I presume she has primarily energies because of this being in her precon. Um, yeah, I mean, I play a forecast. Let's say it removes 2 threat. It can remove 2 more threat, remove 2 more threat block. Possibly get a confuse. The confuse is going to be the big kind of thing here. So, seems maybe seems less desirable if you don't get the confuse, which is obvious. But I'm trying to think like,
Yeah.
am I still happy if I don't get the confuse?
Yeah, and you figure if you're doing an aerial, I'm sorry, an Avengers build out, you should have Queen Carrier, right? So there's your wild there, and you just hopefully have another energy. Somebody saying Justice Wonder Man says what? Question mark. Yeah, it'd be great for Wonder Man because he's gonna have a bunch of energies. Iron Man's new best friend. Does he have
Hmm.
energies or mentals? He's energies.
Iron Man needs mentals. He needs mentals for his rocket boots, but he wants energies for his repulsor blast.
Okay.
And he generally repulsor blast is crazy, so you want energies.
Yeah. So definitely a solid ally. First 4 cost card we've seen. So, keeping maybe that's their strategy moving forward. Keep the aspect cards more expensive and your hero kit a bit cheaper.
Mm.
Because I feel like in general, we have not seen many signature kit cards in this wave that are 3 costs. Well, besides like the allies, I guess, but I think that's it.
Overall, they've been dirt cheap. I wonder if that's maybe like a defender thing, because it might not be like new design for everything. Maybe it's like a defender thing. Have cheap hero cards. I don't know, but
That's true.
yeah, I think with the Captain Marvel card, if I don't get the confuse, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. But if I do get it, it's very very good. So it's kind of a sort of a risky card, not a huge risk because I'm still fine if it doesn't, but I'm not like blown away.
Yeah, and I think if you have a first aid or whatever to help out, because having a justice ally dealing 3 damage is pretty solid.
Mm.
I'm sure there's some stuff you could put on her to help out her health too if you really wanted to. But I know justice allies tend to not always struggle with attack, so being able to use her to help deal some of the attack that maybe Jessica can't at times could definitely help. And again, being able to confuse the villain to flip down and stop an advance from screwing over your game is always a pretty solid option there. So can
Yeah.
potentially remove threat and confuse an enemy before entering play. While Squirrel Girl, let's go. Nut attack. Give me a nut attack. 2 cost ally, 1/1/2 stat line. She's an Avenger as well. Response. After you play Squirrel Girl from your hand, place 1 squirrel counter here for each card in your
Amazing.
hand. Then action, remove 1 squirrel counter from here to remove 1 threat from a scheme. So you don't have to exhaust her. If you have 4 squirrel counters on her, she just removes 4 threat from a scheme. Well, 1 at a time, but 4 threat from a scheme. Plus, then you can either thwart or attack with her, use her as a cheap blocker.
I'm trying to process this because this just seems extremely good to me. I play a 2 cost ally, and as long as I have 4 cards in hand, which I need 2 resource generators to start alter ego or like get a double. Like there are ways to have like 4 cards in hand, and you don't exhaust. I just get like 5 threat removal, and then I have like a jump blocker or something.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I only have 3 in hand or 2 in hand, it is super good, and the action's super flexible. Action remove, no exhaust at all, so I could just like put the threat removal exactly where I need to precisely like defeat things. And this is like play from hand, and I think Captain Marvel was. So I guess that plays into Jessica's. What was it? What's the card that summoned them in? That
Calling in
call in
favors. Yeah, so search
So
your
is
deck
it?
for an ally and play it as if it were in your hands. So this plays right into that.
Yeah, seems good. Seems very good. And Squirrel Go. Who doesn't love Squirrel Go?
And I guess too, with calling in favors, you can have as alter ego. Let's just say you have 6 cards. Well, let's say 5 because you're whatever. You flip up eventually, but you have 5 cards in hand. You can just remove the evidence counters from here. So you would have 4 card or the max
Yep.
of 4 and be able to do this. So 2 evidence counters to play Squirrel Girl for free is just going to let you remove 4 threats plus 1 extra or 1 damage if you want to. Or even if you just play a double, right? So you have 5 cards, you play the double, so you're down to 3. I'll still do that every day. Like that just makes sense. Removing 3 threat among schemes to especially get me going, or just if there's a bunch of side schemes, you just need a little bit here and there. Yeah, that seems solid to me.
Yeah, I think this could be a very popular Justice ally going forward. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. Matterford, welcome to chat. Bardic says play her after one way or another. For Captain Marvel, maybe. Or I guess Squirrel Girl. That would make sense too. They're
Yeah.
hoping people forget the original Squirrel Girl that went out of print with Cap. They don't want to hear about Cap again. Tony, welcome to chat. It's not a forced response, so you could just hinder yourself and not place the counters. Very versatile. That's true. If you want to make it harder, you just be like, "No, we're not playing that game."
Squirrel girl without the squirrels.
Yeah, just useless. Just a nut punch
Let's
everywhere.
go.
All right. By hosting a strategy session is a one-cost justice event, tactic thwart, alter ego action. Choose a player to search their encounter, or I'm sorry,
Ooh.
their deck for a player side scheme and add it to their hand. Hero action. You can thwart to remove 3 threat from a player side scheme. So you can either use this to get out a player side scheme or 1 for 3 threat removal specifically on a player side scheme.
This is a crazy card. It's like part get whatever player side scheme you want, and part really efficient threat removal for justice, but only on player side schemes. I feel like this is like a multiplayer card,
Mm-hmm.
and you can have all different players at the table, and you just choose the player to get one. And once that one's used, someone else is going to have one, so it stays more useful longer. And don't some characters have signature side schemes which never go away. Like they're probably going to the victory
Mm-hmm.
display for like other ones, but their ones won't. Very interesting card. I think player side schemes are very strong. They get stronger in multiplayer usually. So
Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely solid. I find it funny that most of the heroes on this card are out of print, so we got that going for us. But yeah, definitely a solid card. The ability to do it alter ego. I guess on your hero side, if you have a generator, like whatever the justice generator is, it's a hero thing. So you can only use the threat removal for that on that, but that's all right because you're gonna get 1 extra card on alter ego anyway. So that's pretty good.
I'm just thinking like once the player side schemes are gone or done with, like this is kind of useless. So it's kind of interesting that it's on a timer. It's good until it's useless, which is unusual design, I think.
Yeah, it's just a very generic 1 for 3 threat removal that is very just like nope, player size games, that's all you get. Unless we get a reoccurring side scheme on her or something. Well, I guess Jubilee, if you play with her, right? Hers keeps coming back in.
I
But only
think
she can
Silk
thwart
has a
it.
reusable one.
Yeah, Silk has another one. So maybe they're gearing us up for that too. All right, so Jess can let any player search the deck for the player size scheme or remove some threat off of one that's already in place, such as run them
Ooh.
to run them to ground. Run them to ground. I feel like that's not grammatically correct.
You got it. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. I'm always so excited by new player side schemes because they've been around for a few years, but there's not many of them. So, you know,
All right, so player size scheme 0 cost, 4 threat per person, victory card. So when defeated, resolve each of the following. Okay, skip the next villain phase. Deal
what?
each player 1 face down encounter card. Okay, so that's your bad thing. And the villain cannot take damage until the start of the next unskipped villain phase. So you're
What?
getting penalized twice, essentially. Kind of. Well, you're getting definitely penalized with the face down encounter cards. Not being able to take damage, if you're just thwarting, that won't matter as much, I guess. But you do get to skip the next villain phase, I guess, to help build out a bit.
I guess you can build out, you can clear threat, you can go and recover because the villains won't scheme or anything, right, for that villain phase.
Yeah.
So it's
And you can attack minions, I guess, too.
skip the next villain phase is insane. I feel like I could like troll people with this because I feel like it's is it like Kang? Like you once you defeat a Kang, you don't advance until the start of the villain phase or something, and maybe if I skip the villain phase, the villain doesn't come out or something. I don't know. What a weird card. I don't know how to like figure out if this is good or not, or like what it does. Like it gives you that break. You cannot hurt the villain, but you get a big break, and then you get like the encounter card. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Like, and I guess for like multiplayer, all right. So you're skipping 4 activations from the villain, right? If you're doing a 4 player game. So this, okay, this allows you to recuperate. Like if a bunch of people need to drop down to heal and whatever, maybe it's a good way to kind of like get yourself back on equal footing. But then if you get, well, actually, wait. So if you get a deal face down encounter card and you do get a card where they like attack you, well, no, they would still attack you because that's only the villain phase we're skipping.
Well, the villain phase is the whole thing where they attack, get encounter cards. So that would just be when they
Oh,
finally
that's
do get
true.
a villain phase. They'll have basically an extra encounter card stacked up waiting for you. So they're gonna build up that strength to hit you hard. I guess you build up your strength to hit them hard, and then things go crazy. Uh, it's. I feel like this is gonna be very good. I just feel like giving the player 2 turns, even if things get worse in the future, has potential. Maybe
Hmm.
don't put it everywhere. You know what's really good though, if you're called Jessica Jones, is it doesn't matter if the villain can't take damage because your evidence just deletes them. So
That's true.
uh,
That's true. You could set it up for Jessica and just go nuts. So, all right. All right. I still wish this was called Run Them to the Ground, but whatever. Okay. Just going to throw that out there. Repeatable. Okay, wait. On her own personal repeatable play. Oh, this is her personal side scheme. Okay.
okay.
So she has piercing it all together. It's a 0 cost, no victory, so we can keep doing this. This scheme does not count against the player's side scheme limit. I kind of forgot there was one of those,
Ooh.
but okay. And then when defeated, the defeating player draws 3 cards. So there's 6 on it. It allows her to do her whole thing where she's removing massive amounts of threat and possibly readying up, and now draw 3 cards on top of it.
I mean, 6 threat removal isn't, I have to play this with my hand, so my card down, then I have to remove 6 threat. That's usually going to cost me more than 3 cards in general. But she's triggering all the evidence stuff. She's got so much threat removal. Seems like there's definitely potential. And like, I'm just thinking you maybe defeat this, draw 3 cards, then the villain doesn't get a turn because of the other side scheme. Kind of a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah, so wait, if we go back to her, what was her alter ego? Remove 4 threat from the scheme and place 2 alias counters. Discard the top card of the encounter deck. Okay, so that would discard that. So that would remove most of it. Or if you did your basic 3, put an evidence counter on, and then after an evidence
And
counter is
ready.
placed on it, you could ready up, do it again. So that would essentially be your 1 card played of your 5, let's say, that will allow you to draw 3 more cards. I mean, it's a very specific thing you would have to do, but it is, I guess, a possible thing you could do.
It kind of feels like this is a, you have resource sinks. This is a threat sink, is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll trigger your stuff, which is good,
Which
which I
is
guess will
good.
make a lot of the payoff.
All right, bring some upgrades in, and for that removal, you don't look at encounter cards. Good encounter for Ultron's last main scheme with Run Them to the Ground, because he activates each time, removes the count, like the clock down or the time down counter thing. So that could be interesting with that. Run to ground is a common English idiom that usually refers to finding someone or something after an exhaustive search. I still hate it grammatically.
It
All
does
right.
sound weird.
It sounds weird. My brain can't handle that, but that's okay. All right, so that was Run to the Ground on her own personal repeatable player side scheme. Okay, so she's got another one. Oh no, wait, no, we just saw that.
That's it.
Okay, Run to the Ground. Okay, then that. Okay. And don't forget that defeating a player side scheme still counts for adding evidence encounters to alias investigations. Yes. So, on the topic of player size schemes, Defender City comes with a new prerequisite keyword, which dictates either the form your identity must be in or a trait your identity must have to be able to play it. So, Defender City, 0 cost, 3 threat total, but hinder 1 on top of it. Prerequisite Defender, so our defenders can use this, victory 0. When defeated, each player may search their deck and discard pile for a team up card and add it to their hand. Until the end of the phase, reduce the cost to play each team up card by 1. So we can basically trigger a bunch of team up cards then at this point.
I mean, this is again more multiplayer, right? To
Yeah.
me at least. But I mean, I guess it's good in solo too, because you can wait until you got your signature ally out and like find it or something. But to me, this screams multiplayer. I think team up cards have commonly, some are better than others,
Hmm.
and this will just make them easier to line up and cheaper to play. So I like the idea behind this. I like the idea of the prerequisite keyword, by the way. It's kind of like they did the with Daredevil's reveal, like the what was it, Echoes, the discount keyword, and this is just a prerequisite keyword, and it's just to save text on things we already have in the
Yeah.
game. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm
seems good.
I'm
Seems good.
thinking too, like again, if you need to just like have a side scheme chill out there. I mean, as a solo player, it comes with four, so you thwart with three on it or whatever, and you just let it chill with one in the background. So eventually, when I'm ready to delete the villain with my alias thing, we just clear this and then we're good to go. Like just call it a day.
Mm. I think this in solo, like, it will have some applications, maybe for Jessica especially, but I think in general, this gets so good in multiplayer, like big
Mhm.
multiplayer, because it only goes up by 1 threat per player, not like 3 threat per player, like a
Yeah.
lot of side schemes or something. So like at 4 player, one card has gone from my hand to play this, and I've got to remove 7 threat. But then I'm basically getting given 4 cards and a discount of 1, basically getting 8 resources of value. And a team of cards tend to be more powerful than normal. So if we've lined it up that we can all play at, like, this is huge. You just need one defender and I guess another defender to have a team up with them on the board. You know what
Yeah.
the funny thing is with Echo? She's going to be able to play that team up card, tuck it beneath her, then maybe photographic reflexes, play it again, and it won't get the discount there. But she could she could muscle memory it with that revealed upgrade, so she could get the discount twice. Yeah, okay, it's going to be quite good with Echo.
Echo is just gonna be bonkers. Roxas is sad that Nebula can't use this. I know that is sad. Nebula is a good team up. So that prerequisite is just something as long as your alter ego or hero has that trait, you can play it. Correct. And she alter ego cannot play this because her alter ego is a civilian, not a defender. So she would have to be on her hero side to play this. I think some of the other ones are like that too. So you just have to be a little bit careful doing that. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Just, again, it's just to play it. So whoever has it just has to be the defender at that time, and then everyone else can kind of do their own thing. Okay,
Yeah.
solid. Okay, so in Defender City's case, you can only play it if your hero has the defender trait, and when it's defeated, each player can search their deck for a team up card and gain a discount on it for the rest of the phase. Naturally, this applies to Jess's own team up card, Unbreakable Bond. So one cost event. So it's free 99. It's a thwart card, team up with Jess and Luke. Hero action, remove 3 threat from us scheme, heal a total of 3 damage from among Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. Not the strongest team up card, but healing is nice for sure. The 3 threat from a scheme, 1 for 3, that's fine. The healing is more interesting. As a solo player, maybe being able to heal Luke because you can keep him in there as a blocker isn't too bad, or get, free heals on yourself. It's fine for solo play. I think for multiplayer, maybe it's a bit better.
Yeah, I was just trying to like math this out a bit and like trying to figure out. Well, I feel like some of the team up cards are like one like team up move, or it's like this part represents this character and this part represents the other. And presumably, threat removal is going to be Jessica, and maybe the healing is Luke. But I assume Luke is going to have a lot of toughs. Is he going to need the healing?
Yeah.
Jess can like flip down, recover for 4, come back. Is she going to need the healing? Because it's kind of like Miles Morales. He's got the double life card, which lets him go alter ego and recover and come back. And his team up card, Young Love. I don't play that for the healing very much, but getting the threat removal on top of this, like mathematically, this is good if you can trigger it. Like 2 player. Nice thing about Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, they're gonna have the same name in here and alter ego, which makes it way more flexible to play.
Mhm.
But yeah, kind of interesting choice to see that healing there.
Well, it's also a hero action, so I think there would have to be hero form.
One of them would have to be
That's true. Yeah,
whoever's
one of
playing
them.
it.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Um, so I didn't know they were married. Yeah, I didn't learn that until this article. And it would be 0 cost if you use the size scheme. Yeah, so 0 cost. I mean, it's free card to play, so you're right. 0 cost, 0 for 3 threat removal. Obviously, very good. Healing the amount is good. Um, yeah, I think it's fine. Nothing amazing. I guess if you play it and then you're playing a 2-player game and Luke also has this, now the like heal 6 damage among those 2 characters is pretty good. And 6 threat from well, three from one threat, or three threat from one scheme and three possibly from another one, or if there's a big one out there with six. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely do some interesting things with that. So, okay.
Yeah.
Which could both heal her and or Luke Cage and keep her thwarting momentum going. Speaking of momentum, the new Joys of Life event, zero cost event. It's an alliance card. So choose. So action. Choose. Exhaust a civilian alter ego to ready a hero or ally, or exhaust a hero ally to ready a civilian alter ego.
Okay, so we're getting 3 copies of this. This is like Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but instead of like exhaust an Avenger, ready an Avenger, it's exhaust a civilian, ready any hero or ally kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I'm thinking like if you flip down, I mean, obviously in 2 player it's stronger, right? Or 2, 3, 4 player. Um, so if you're flipped down as Jessica, being able to ready up somebody else that maybe defended or something is good. If you want to attack with your ally again, like if you have like a Nick Fury and you want to get actual use out of him, or like a Professor X, because they usually always have an extra life when you use them to block, or an extra, yeah, one extra life. So maybe it's good for that. And exhaust a hero or ally to ready a civilian alter ego. Again, maybe if another player. Well, I guess if you're flipped down, you can exhaust one of your allies to ready up your civilian and then heal with them
I'm
twice.
I think exhausting an ally to ready up a civilian is very good. And some heroes are just so strong. So like if I could exhaust, I don't know, insert random civilian hero and ready up Drax, who's fully stacked in multiplayer, I'm thinking a bit more about that. There's definitely a lot of potential with this card.
Mm-hmm. Ready her signature ally, get that tough block. Definitely a multiplayer card. Would it be useful in solo? I think you can make some use of this in solo. I think it's definitely a stronger multiplayer card. Helps out Quicksilver to ready after you recover. Yeah, if there's a civilian out there, yeah.
I mean, Jessica's gonna love this with that free forwarding stat. She just plays some cheap ally, and now with 3 of these in her deck, she just exhausts that, readies herself after she flips down, then Incognito's back to hero form, removes another free threat, or punches someone again and gets evidence. I
Yeah, it's
think her
just
ability specifically, and maybe Miles with that double life card, could be particularly good.
yeah. Yeah, I think there's some fun things. Annabelle Riggs is civilian. There we go.
Oh,
There we go.
she's useful.
She's never useful. This will figure out a way to still make her useless, as
But the thing
she
is,
always is.
she's not a civilian. It only works on civilian alter egos, so it doesn't work on her. She's still useless.
Yeah, that's true. She is always useless. Quicksilver is a civilian. The hero one is.
Yeah, I actually just pulled up a list of civilians if you're interested.
I am interested.
We have Ant-Man, Ghost Spider, Nova, Quicksilver, Spectrum, Spider-Ham,
Oh god.
Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Wonder Man, and I'm pretty sure Echo is as well. It's Jessica now.
Okay. Huh.
I mean, Ghost Spider being able to ready is interesting, but I mean, you have to be alter ego with her. Like, yeah, I mean, Spider Ham is a very powerful alter ego, so I mean, it is maybe kind of good for him
Yeah.
to recover
Right.
and get toon counters.
Yeah, it's good. Spider Ham was always underpowered, obviously, so it's
Yeah,
good to make
mhm.
him more powerful for sure.
I'm glad we can agree on this.
Yeah. All right, so definitely interesting card. Event can ready about anyone at the table thanks to the alliance keyword, which I'm sorry. The Joys of Life event can ready just about anyone at the table thanks to the alliance keyword, allowing any player to pay its character exhaustion cost. Since Jessica can freely flip to alter ego once per round, she can pay for the benefit from either option. And even if you choose to exhaust her, a grapnel launcher, which is a Justice 2 cost upgrade, restricted item, hero action, discard this card. Make a basic thwart without exhausting, even if you are exhausted. For this thwart, your hero gets +1 thwart and ignores patrol keyword and any crisis icon in play. Yes, please. Jessica Jones loves this card.
I mean, this is a cool card, right? I mean, for Jessica, she's getting evidence as well, which is crazy. I mean, you can use this for Nick Fury, get some intelligence. bunch of characters that do something when they activate. Um, so this is basically a 2-cost ready. Effectively, it doesn't say that, but lets you fort again as a 2-cost card, but you get +1 and you can ignore a bunch of stuff. I think this is good.
Yeah, yeah, I think this becomes a staple, especially in solo for a lot of Justice decks. Like, I don't see why I wouldn't do this for Justice.
I mean, particularly if your base forwarding is free, you get so much value for that ready anyway.
Chat says finally Hulk can thwart. That's true. Hulk can be the strongest thwarter there
Uh,
is with one.
yeah. Hulk with a little grapnel launcher seems really funny when he can like jump buildings and stuff.
Yeah,
I do love that. Like as soon as I saw Black Widow on the art, I got excited for Black Widow as well. I don't know if she needs this per se, but I think it's very cool thematically.
yeah, I don't know. Let's see really quick. If we look at Black Widow. Oh god, I went to the wrong one.
She's one up.
There we
There she is.
go. So after you trigger an ability on a prep card you control. Okay, so she has 2 thwart. I mean, it helps her thwart a little bit, I guess. But her whole
It's
ability
not
is
like
triggering prep
yeah.
cards. So it's fine to help her thwart, probably.
I just liked her on the art, and like I thought it was thematic. Whether it's good,
Yeah, yeah,
but like for her, less than certain characters, but
yeah.
very cool card.
And even with it being restricted, I mean, like Justice, I very rarely run into restriction problems. So that doesn't seem like that big of an issue for me. And I mean,
Playing
it's gonna
Sonic
go
Rifle,
away.
right?
So yeah, you have rifle. Um, God, I think that's really it you have. And obviously whatever hero cards you may have or basic cards.
It's. I think this is our first restricted item, right? Oh, actually, no. Captain America's shield, but normally it's a
Mhm.
weapon that's restricted.
That's true, yeah.
I feel like this should be a weapon. I feel like if you shot someone with a grapnel launcher, it's gotta hurt, right?
Yeah, but then you're trying to do something, you just fall to the ground because they die, I guess. So
I guess so.
uh oh, that's fun. People might not include it because it's too much power. That's true. We're getting to that point. I wish it was a preparation. Yeah, if it was a prep, it would be even better for Black Widow. Actually, it'd be too strong. Not too strong, but it'd be very
Just
strong for Black Widow.
just the ability to bank this is good, right? Because you just play it as an upgrade when things are good, and when things go bad, you have that extra threat removal in the bank that can bypass crisis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just run one of these is like a really solid strategy, and just have it for that emergency potentially,
Oh, and I guess you can have
which
2
does
of
help
these
Black
in
Widow.
there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
so you could
you could have 3 in your deck and play 2 at once.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm running this. Jubilee can go to the mall and get it. That's true. Jubilee could get this card pretty easily at the mall. They are known for having grapnel launchers at a mall, so that does thematically make sense.
Yeah, right next to the arc reactors and like blood gems.
All right, so can Lara still contribute some thwarting? Finally, though Jess can end pretty much any player phase in hero form if you want to. Whenever you do enter a villain phase in alter ego, you can still punish the bad guys for scheming with some entrapment. So one cost upgrade, Justice, prep card. So here we go, Black Widow. Max 1 per player. Alter ego response. After the villain schemes, change to hero form and discard this card. Deal damage to the villain equal to the amount of threat placed by that activation. So it's still still placing threat, but you're also now dealing damage to the villain as well. Deal damage.
Yeah, this is really weird. Like it feels like it's the Justice version of Ready for a Fight, but in this case, the villain has to scheme first,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it does
Which
damage. Like it's
that's interesting. And it's still an attack, so if you're stunned, you have some issues. But alter ego response. After the villain schemes, change to hero form and discard this card. Deal damage to the villain. I mean, you get to change up for free, I guess, which could be good for some
this is
people.
this strikes me as like a solo card to like finish off the villain, like kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
if you can keep the threat in control, maybe you're under surveillance or something, or it's just not a low threat threshold main scheme. This is a really efficient card to get damage on the villain, right? If they're scheming for like let's say 3 to 4 on average for a 1-cost card, you just get some, and you can wait, right, for it to be a big scheme potentially. I don't know. I think this has some potential. Maybe like Justice Rush. Is that a thing? um, very interesting,
Maybe it is
unusual
now.
card. Yeah.
Yeah. And if your villain is confused, you can't do this, right? Because the villain has
No.
to scheme. So, yeah, that's interesting. I'm trying to think if like there's. I mean, I guess there's villains that do pretty decent thwarting. Like maybe you can get up to like
If
4 or 5 on expert.
if you got
That's
an
still a lot.
expert, like Baron Zemo has like on his second stage like 4 scheme. I think his is the highest, something like
Okay.
that, and that could get crazy. But
Huh.
weird
Yeah,
card.
that is interesting. And I guess as a prep card, okay, you can recall it if you really wanted to, but could you flip and use greater responsibility with this?
I think the timing is not right. We can check it out, but I think it's after the villain schemes, and at that point, the threat has already been put on, and I don't think you can create responsibility because you are alter ego. But we can see all the wording. I'm gonna be honest. Do I play greater responsibility a lot? I
Yeah.
don't think I do play it a ton.
All right. So it says when it's a hero interrupt, zero cost event. When any amount of threat would be placed on a scheme, you take it as damage instead. So no, because you have to be hero form.
The interrupt would have to trigger before you were hero form, so it doesn't line up to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, it wouldn't work. It would be interesting though. Though I guess you just get punched in the face really hard, but that's all right. She has 11 life, so. All right. So, with all these tools in her belt combined with her own inherent skills, no villain scheme will come to fruition while Jessica Jones is on the case. Snooping around. With her versatile access to alter ego form and alias investigations, allowing her to take down the villain in a new and unique way, Jessica Jones is a potent hero and a powerful addition to any team. Look forward to taking on Kingpin and his criminal enterprise, Jessica Jones, when the Jessica Jones Hero Pack arrives in August. So we're getting it a month after the Daredevil box. So they're really cranking through this, which is
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'm gonna derail whatever you were about to say and go back to
Perfect.
entrapment.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
I was thinking Black Widow. It's a preparation, obviously. One of the things that annoys me most about Black Widow is so many alter ego benefits, but then none of my preparations work. This one, I can
Mm,
go alter ego, get all the benefits in Justice, and I can, end up in hero form when the encounter cards come out, and suddenly multiple of my preparations are more useful again. Like grappling hook is what I'm thinking of big time. So I do kind of like that. So I think this actually might be kind of nice for Black Widow.
yeah. As what Entrapment puts Black Widow in hero form for her other prep cards to trigger, right? Yeah, noob.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be good for Black Widow. Man, they love coming back to Black Widow. I love it. Big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was no mention of Justice starting card. No, there was nothing for Justice starting. I assume they would do something with it, but we don't know yet. It'd be weird if they didn't.
It could be a back of the pack thing for someone if they're not putting it in any of the Justice precons. It's weird for Echo that it was like, it's card number 38. Like, the way it's going to be when you open up the little pack inside the expansion box, it's going to be Echo's identity card, starting card, then her identity specific cards. So I feel like we can check on the numbers here to see if she has one like this, because Jessica's hero card is 18, and then we'd have to look for Elias, which is. Am I confused? Am I
Well, oh,
confused?
wait, hold on. No, because her 1A, 1B is her hero. Alias is the
On
2.
B, I looked at 18.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
so it,
like I
isn't,
said,
it doesn't seem to be there unless Luke Cage is number 3, but I don't think he is. Oh, he is number 3. Hold up.
yeah, but
No,
the
no,
alias is 2.
no. Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't look like she has one, or they did it in a different format.
What? Them doing different formats for heroes in the same wave? That's crazy.
It might not be. I mean, there might. Yeah, I don't know. There has to be a starting Justice card, right? Imagine if that's just protection only.
I mean, protection obviously is the weakest aspect now at this point with everything it's got going on. So, won't Nick use that too for the justice card um, entrapment? Where did he?
I don't know that I usually want to be alter ego too much, having the villain scheme. I'd rather they scheme when I was in hero form.
Yeah.
Does it let me use my ability after they scheme to add a threat or something? Now I need to go and look up Nick.
All right, so let's look at Nick. Where's the Agents of Shield? All right, so Nicholas, let's see. All right, alter ego, change his stealth form. Okay. His
I don't think
heroes.
so.
Yeah, after Nick
It's
makes a basic
it's
door, that's his thing.
it's a stealth upgrade attachment, but it's when an enemy would attack it schemes instead. So it's already too late by the time
Yeah.
the new preparation triggers.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything else that would work, but I don't think so. There would be.
I
placed on-
mean,
Let's
any
see.
card that says like response after someone schemes, I can't think
Yeah.
of those off the top of my head right now.
To resolve the ability. I mean, I guess Secret Agent, because it's a hero response after you resolve the ability of a prep card, and you did that prep card, you control move one threat from a scheme to your suit. Maybe I guess is as far as we can get.
It would just work as a prep card, but it's like it's no better than any other prep card for him. I feel like at a
Yeah.
glance.
So base 4. Wow, so base 4 for heroes, well, her and Phoenix. What with the launcher? It would only be 4 for that turn. Then you discard it. I assume is what we're talking about. It would switch him to assault form, right? Yes, it would switch him to a. Well, does it switch him to assault?
How does
form?
it work? Because it's alter ego. I've never had to deal with an alter ego attack on Nick Fury before.
Yeah, that's something that doesn't come up in my bingo sheet that often. All right, so after, all right, so that's when you make an attack, you would change. So it's not after they do it; it's after you do it. And then,
So
oh
I
yeah,
don't
this
think
is
it
an
forces
attack.
you out of.
I don't think so either because it's an alter ego response.
But I do think if you're already in assault form when you use it, you can use assault to boost up the entrapment damage. Am I reading that right? Because when you attack, remove up to 3 threat from here. This attack does 1 damage each threat removed this way. So, kind of feel like Nick Fury can use his assault form to deal more entrapment damage.
Yeah,
I think that's really weird.
I think that is really weird. I think that's going to be a rules question on that. But yeah, I guess
It works. I just think it doesn't make any thematic sense. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's interesting. God, talking about what weird cards we got for Justice. Like, I feel like we have like a lot. Like, Justice is turning into the weird aspect at this point, not in a bad way per se.
I think Justice has been the boring aspect for a while, and now it's getting some spice. I think it needs some seasoning, and this is it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Squirrel Girl Ally, I think is a must have. Like, I just don't see a situation where you don't run Squirrel Girl.
It's so good.
It's so good. Captain Marvel's fine. I think she's good. Like you said, as long as you hit the double energy resource, I think she's very good. If you're hitting only one, it's not bad per se, but you're definitely going to want to hit that double for sure. Strategy session, be in her deck. It can't be in her discard pile. So if you recently discarded it, you can't just recur it back in. So you have to be, I guess, a little careful with that. But there is some limitations on that for sure. Run them to ground. I'm still amazed by this card. It's so weird. It's so weird.
I feel like run them to ground is either going to be like super busted, overpowered, or completely useless in like real practice.
There is no in between on this card.
It's just so weird.
Yeah, like I like that they're doing weird. Like I like weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like I need a long time to think about this card and like play out and see it like in several uses. But I mean, it costs like 16. I'm thinking of 4 players, 16 threat removed, but you stopped 4 villain activations and all the threat at the start of the main, start of the villain phase as well. So it's probably like net positive. But I mean, it probably is a net positive good card. It's just weird. Big investment to get it to trigger.
Yeah. And I mean, I wish the villain could still take damage because the villain could take damage. This is a broken card, right?
Yeah, if they could take damage, this is I win the game card. I have 2 turns now card.
So I get why they did it that way. Again, it still works really well with Jessica because the she can still use alias on this because again, we're not dealing damage, we're just deleting.
Mm.
Um,
We have Kexu in the chat saying Cable will love this. I mean, he loves all player side schemes, but actually, you knock this out, you get a whole extra turn to keep powering up before the villain does anything, just defeat another couple of side schemes. So
that's true,
that
yeah.
does seem good. I mean, anyone who wants to build up over time, the only problem is a lot of characters who want to build up can't just play this card and just remove full threat without building up, without losing like something else going on. I guess it does give you more time. I don't know. Maybe it is a really good card.
Yeah, I guess yeah, I mean, I know we're thinking about this as like an end game push, but I don't even know if it's like a mid game because it's not early game, right? I mean, Jessica could clear it, sure, but she's not the rule, she's kind of the exception. Um, so like a mid game card to make sure everyone's ready to go. Maybe it also lets you like get around to set up your hand better to what you want as well.
Maybe just like stabilize, like things have gone
Yeah.
bad. Okay, let's stop the villain doing anything. Let's clear this up, and then we can like move on, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't say you can't stun or confuse the villain. That's true. You could stun and confuse the villain for another round. And again, you can deal with minions, which can help deal with side schemes. So I think I think it's meant for more like a breathing room. Like when the game gets a little too intense, you leave this with like a threat or two on it, and then this just gives you a round to kind of play catch up, so you're not getting just decimated. I would assume.
Yeah, it's just such a weird card. I'm getting more excited to try this card and just see what weird things can happen.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
you can. I was gonna say you control people in other ways with this. If everyone's ready to win and you just throw this out and forward it somehow, and then people have to wait, just no reason.
Just no reason. Just be like, no, guys, sorry, I really want to skip the villain phase. I had this in my deck. I need to play it.
Like
uh,
I'm picturing that I'm playing. I'm just gonna go crazy. I'm playing Spider Woman with the
mhm.
pool aspect in Justice. I've got this down, and I've got break time in my hand. Everyone has to wait an extra turn to win, and then when it comes around, I break time, and we walk away from the table for 20 minutes to heal up. That's a card that makes you walk away. I don't know. I'm getting off topic here, but I think it's just a very cool card design.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Hulk doesn't have a turn. Yeah, Hulk has his own issues going on there. And I guess too with the play Jessica's side scheme, because we talked a bit about Jessica before, but with her side scheme, again, doesn't count towards the limit, so you can keep it out there. And it is the defeating player. So I guess this could be good, like if you have somebody who can set up, like your aggression player who can set up a big hit, and they need a couple more resources or whatever. Um,
Hmm.
this could be good for them, possibly if they can remove. Let's say you leave one threat on it, so to remove one threat from it, or maybe if you can call an action, have somebody else. No, because they would be the defeating player. They would have to do it.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can call for an action for somebody else to remove threat, and if they remove threat, they are the one defeating it. But I mean, there's definitely some strategy around this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think again, Squirrel Girl, you want some more cards in your hand. Technically, if you had this set up in advance, but Squirrel Girl, that new ally, the new Squirrel Girl, crazy card. I'm still thinking about.
It's so good. It's so good.
I mean, combo-centric characters are going to love that card draw from the Jessica side scheme. Like, if I'm Star-Lord with Jessica and I can remove that last threat and I draw into another sliding shot and something else that deals me an encounter card, then my combo gets even bigger. There's
Mm.
definitely some interesting things beyond just needing card draw generally. But yeah, this might be... Is this my hot take of the video? This might be the best Justice Ally, like,
Yes.
ever. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure top three, and you'd be hard to find two that are above it, I think. I mean, I just don't see a situation where I don't play this. Robert says allies can defeat that side scheme, right? Yes, yes. It doesn't unless it specifically says something, but yeah, you can have an ally, one of your allies defeat it for sure. Have Squirrel Girl
Mhm.
defeat it just with her squirrels doing squirrel. Just imagine the squirrel piecing it all together.
When do we get a Squirrel Girl hero? This is what I need at this point. She's in Marvel Rivals. I mean, I feel like if you're in Marvel Rivals, you're now, why not be in Champions?
Right.
Um, something I should say with piercing it all together for any multiplayer people playing, like 3 and 4 player, like even the odds with this card goes crazy because even the odds just
Mm.
moves 4 like threat and 4 player from every side scheme, so it kind of just cleaves it off for free in a way. Like if you're moving threat from other side schemes, just knock some threat off of that one.
Yeah, so even the odds 2 cost event requirement energy. Hero action remove 1 per player threat from each side scheme. Deal 1 damage to the villain for each side scheme defeated this way. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely solid.
Yeah, very
Squirrel
cool. I mean,
Girl.
I think overall, sorry,
Mhm.
you talk about Squirrel Girl.
No, they said Squirrel Girl is like surveillance team that can block for you once. Well, yeah. So, well, she could block for you in the sense of being a chump blocker. Yeah, which
I
after
mean,
after she throws
I'm
her squirrels.
surveillance team is the same cost, removes 3 threat. She could remove 4. She can do it all in 1 turn as opposed to across 3 turns.
Mhm.
And then she can thwart herself or attack herself, and then she can chump block. So it's like surveillance team and an ally for the cost of surveillance team. It's kind of how I'm
Yeah.
seeing it.
Do you have to exhaust her to do the squirrels? No, it's just an action. So you just remove all your squirrels, assuming you got 4 out there. But even if you got 3, you just remove your squirrels and remove threat from however you see fit. So even if there's only 1 here, 1 there, 1 there, you could just go, okay, I'll take care of all this. My little squirrel minions will go out there and do my bidding.
I love all the squirrel talk. I'm losing it over here. Like I'm cracking up. Just you send your squirrels. The squirrels will do this. Just squirrel it up. It's gonna be fantastic.
Have to say this, Neo, welcome to chat. Couldn't they find a better art? Most of the card art looks horrible. Just look at the Luke Cage ally. The protection version looks infinitely better. I don't mind some of the art. I will say the Luke Cage one is fine. I'm not like this. This also looks like Calling in Favors looks like a what if drawing to me almost. That kind of art style. The rest I'm fine
Mm,
with. The only one I don't care for is Breakthrough. It's an older comic, obviously.
mm.
That's the only one that just it looks weird to me, but most of it I don't mind. I think it's fine.
I do like that. Looking at the art, Jessica's punched a hole in a wall in her hero card, and in the Fear No Evil scenario, protection racket. I think it's like the main scheme or one of the schemes. She's punching a guy through a wall, so she just seems to be doing that a lot.
Yeah, I mean you gotta for sure. Oops, I can't spell waylay. Someone brought up waylay. So waylay is a 3 cost event. After your hero thwarts, deal 4 damage to an enemy, 7 damage instead of the thwart. Remove the last threat from a scheme. Yeah, it'd be Jessica's most expensive card at this point. But definitely would be
I mean,
useful.
Turn the Tide is like super
It's
good for
bonkers with
her.
her.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's good for everyone though, like a lot of people really, but
Hmm.
as long as you're in hero form, so it won't work with her Ultra Ego threat removal card, but just thwarting for free, kind of got a guaranteed trigger for this. Like in
Yeah.
solo, like a lot of the time.
And what's the Justice flip up card? The
Entrapment.
no. The
Oh,
it's
lay down
the
the law,
lay down the law. Thank you.
which has Captain America throwing his shield, I think, but it removes threat.
Yeah, naturally, yeah. 1 cost event after you change form, which she'll be doing easily. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. 4 if you use a mental resource. So if you have the Justice generator out there, you're just removing more threat for funsies. I don't think she'll have that problem, but maybe. Who knows?
Getting the damage card like guaranteed, was it surprise attack in aggression? Be really good for solo, right? Because she comes packed with all this threat removal. Now you've got
Yeah.
a 1 cost for 4 damage card. You can add 3 copies in, basically guaranteed to work.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. No, agreed. Yeah, I don't think she's even. I think to kind of build on what you're saying there, she's not even stuck in justice. Like I think she works pretty much in any aspect because you're right. Thwarting she's got in spades. She could do the massive amounts of damage at the end, but if you want to run, because her whole thing works off of what is it? Hold on, where's the yeah, so circumstantial evidence after an enemy is defeated. So if you're doing a minion type build in aggression, you could still trigger it all through circumstantial evidence. So she can lean into that. If you have the jacket, right? So if you do a protection build, which is going to be a bonkers protection hero because her defense is going to be so high,
Yeah.
especially for perfect protection, you're getting more evidence counters on it. Like she can do it
What
all.
what I'm thinking in protection is that's the readying aspect, and every time she uses a basic power, she gets evidence. So you could just run a bunch of cheap ways to ready, and you could be like green justice in a way. You just keep raiding up using your free threat removal stat. It's going to be a like completely legit strategy, especially if the new cards Echo comes with like Army of One.
Yeah.
I don't play an ally, sure, but I fought for free, ready up for one cost card, fought for free. Just doing that a lot and getting evidence every single time. Oh no, I took damage. Well, I'll just go Ultrigo and heal. Like, okay, and then I come back to hero. Fine. there's
Yeah.
there's there's a lot of stuff, and even leadership with the calling in favors. I get allies out of my deck card. Feels like she has a hook for every aspect. She's like the defense thing. She's got the justice thing. She's got things that what am I talking about? She's got the leadership support to get allies. She's got the protection upgrade for defense stat. She gets a card that rewards her for defeating minions. And obviously, thwarting schemes like Justice goes crazy. So, don't see a bad result.
Now, and someone pointed out Rodent is a 1-cost upgrade. While you
Mhm.
do not control any allies, you get +1 defense. So we're looking at 4 now. Assuming you have your jacket and you gain Retaliate on top of it. You're leaning into Retaliate flow like water decks at that point. Just it's getting nuts.
Yeah. So, I feel like she has a lot of different decks you can run. But
Yeah.
I'm curious how much. I wonder how, like, quote unquote, samey her deck building will become if she's always trying to find these side schemes because exhausting her alliance investigations every round does
Hmm.
seem like a big deal. That does seem to get her, like, a lot of value. But, few player side schemes, there's more now than ever.
I was gonna say, let's look at campaign encounter. Um, what player size schemes can we run here? All right, astonishing X-Men, probably not. So you got your build supports.
Yep.
For support, she has supports that cost cheap. So she has calling in favors you can get in. Oh, is that her only support
I
that
mean,
we've
you can
seen?
just run Helicarrier, and that's like a viable card, honestly.
That's true.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't think it's a big deal.
Call
But
for
for backups,
backup. Yeah.
insane card.
Establish perimeter if you're doing an ally thing with your. Well, if you it depends what you're doing with protection. That could be good. We'll see. Evaluate threat is Avenger Shields. So that's whatever. Gen X, no. Going undercover, the defeating player looks at the top 5 cards in the encounter deck. They may add one non-scenario specific card from those among the victory display and then place the rest in any order. This could help if you're trying to fish side schemes in which to do things with. So maybe that's worth something. Keep them busy. The player defeated this scheme removes 5 threat per player from the main scheme. I don't think she really needs that per se.
Probably
Uh,
not.
each player may search their deck and discard pile for an attack event and
Yep.
add to their hand. Okay. The
This is how
attack
you
event.
finish off the game, I guess. You
Yeah.
fought this, you get a big attack, damage the villain. Now you need less evidence counters to defeat them, but you just got some for defeating this.
Yeah.
So I always like this one.
Laid the trap. The player defeated this. Deals 5 damage per player to
Yep.
the villain. Easy card for her. Live dangerously. Probably not. Well, though she can kind of go around, or one of the cards could go around the crisis icon. I guess that's a
That was
thing.
just this card, I think, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Lock and load. Each player may search their deck and discard pile for weapons. She doesn't have a weapon unless you do something with it. New recruits is X-Men. Rally the troops. Heal 2 damage from each ally. If you do an ally swarm, that's not too bad. Render medical aid. Each player heals a total of 5 damage from among characters they control. Could be fine. Show empathy when the threat is removed from the scheme. Place that threat on a non-elite minion. If that minion has threat on it equal to or greater than his remaining hit points, add show of empathy to the victory display and attach one side set aside copy of redemption. God, I forgot about this card to that minion. Okay.
I really like this card, but you don't actually defeat it because you remove threat, you do the interrupt, and then like you remove that card. So I don't think it would trigger her alliance
Yeah.
thing, if I'm correct.
Specialized training, great
Yep.
card for her for whatever you want to do. Superpower identity specific upgrade, which she definitely has. I mean, you can get the camera in, you can get her jacket in, you can get like a stakeout in, circumstantial evidence. I mean, she's definitely got upgrades for days. Take out the guards. Each player may discard one non-elite minion from play. I guess if you're getting overwhelmed in justice, you could do that. And those are the main ones right now. So I think there's some options there
Yeah.
for sure.
Mm. Something I'm just thinking about to derail that. I think that Joys of Life card will be so good for Jessica. I feel like that probably goes in most of her decks. I think
Which
all you
one?
need to do is have one ally out. Joys of Life, it's on the article. It's the Readying Alliance card, the basic one.
Oh,
Yeah, quite a way down.
there we go.
I'm just
Oh
thinking you
yeah.
have one ally out, and you can just zero cost ready for Jessica as long as you can keep one ally out. And her readying just seems so good. So I feel like maybe I'm building my decks just so I can have like, I guess cheap allies were already like good to have around, but I think this just looks really good.
Yeah. There's definitely some interesting things you can do with this card for sure. I'm happy they're doing
Mhm.
more with the civilian trait because I feel like that was kind of a neglected trait.
Yeah, they did that resource card for it, but it was kind of not good. So
Yeah.
this is better.
Yeah. All right. So, chat, I'll let you answer this too. But villain theory. So, what we've seen so far, which is a lot of her, what is your hype level for Jessica Jones? Let's say, so everyone knows 5 is max hype, and 1 is I have zero hype, basically zero. I have no hype for this hero whatsoever.
Okay, so from 1 to 5, I'm gonna say maybe a strong 4. Like she seems really interesting. She's unique, unique interactions. And I don't know if we're just talking about Jessica here. I really like quite interested in these Justice cards, and even the basic cards. But just Jessica, yeah, I think I like every card. I like every single card. Unique kind of playstyle and like end game plan. So yeah, I don't think I've got any downside. Seems good solo. Seems really good multiplayer.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of the few times where we have, not few times, I guess, but one of the times that we have like someone who makes sense in multiplayer for sure and makes sense in solo. Like she really
Mm.
does seem like she's gonna be able to do it all and not be. I always get worried when there's a hero that's too powerful, where it's just like, ugh, okay, I'm just running the same exact thing over and over, and it's just basic and simple and whatever. And that's fine for people at first, but usually we tend to get bored of those heroes. I don't think this will be a hero that you're bored with because you're basically gonna have to fish for certain things. That's gonna change how your game plays each time, which I think is really interesting. I think it's a really good design in general. I'm really impressed by this design.
Yeah, I honestly like. I think I'm gonna enjoy her a lot.
Hmm. Yeah.
I also have like a. I'm also a sucker for being able to like change form off turn, like just cable with body slide. I really like that. Ready for a fight when that dropped in protection, I was super excited. So the fact that she has that built in, I don't know, something about that I really enjoy. And we'll see what entrapment does. Maybe that will let me do some weird stuff with other characters.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and yeah, I mean, for my hype level, I'm at a 5 for her. I love
Yeah,
this.
5,
Yeah,
nice.
the idea of just deleting the villain, it just seems hilarious to me by investigating them. Like, oh, I figured out Thanos' true identity or Rodin's true identity. Like, I love this. I think it's hilarious. A little silly at times, but I'll take silly. It's fun. So, uh,
I'm gonna
mhm,
I'm gonna play devil's advocate very slightly. That
do it.
if you just like knock the villain to the final stage and press delete, you miss out on like the entire finale. So I feel like that might be like a thing where like the game's like, oh, now the game is over. But at the same time, it's quite unique to her and it is very funny, like you say. So I don't think it's too big of a deal. It's just a thought I had in my head.
I could see that. And I guess to be fair, like we truly don't know how many counters she can easily get because we're sitting here and like thinking about all these combos we can do. And maybe realistically when you play, then you get because I think in solo you can finish most games in like 7 to 10 rounds. So if you're just using her basic actions, you're looking at 7 to 10 counters, which obviously is not enough to defeat an expert villain. Um,
Mhm.
how much do you get the other cards? How much can you ready up? How much can you do the other things? Maybe you get to 14, 15. So it's not as simple as that. Maybe in standard, it's much more easier to second stage be able to delete them, possibly. Um, but yeah, I think the quote unquote big question mark for me would just be how many counters are we actually dealing with, especially with that she does have good cards where I kind of want to use the counter like big mistake, let's say, and we're removing the counter we just worked so hard for, right? Or
Mhm.
with 4K digital camera, removing those counters, calling in favors. Like how much is that balance going to be? Which to me makes it more interesting because now I have decisions I really need to make of like, okay, am I going for that final push or is calling in favors 4K and big mistake now going to be weaker cards because I'm saving it for that big push? I like that trade off idea. I think that's really fun. And I like those choices you have to make.
Yeah. Something I'm thinking about as we're talking about all of this that I think will make her less powerful than maybe like, we're looking at all these cards with these really good costs. A lot
Mm,
of heroes have a hero ability, which actively helps them manage the game, win the game, get resources, something like that. Her ability and her setup card just get you evidence, which unless you have the right thing or you have enough to take out the villain, doesn't do anything, right?
right.
She isn't like Spider-Man who draws a card when attacked. She isn't like Cable who readies up when they defeat something. Isn't like, I don't know, okay, she does have three basic fort though, which is really strong. But
Mhm.
that ability, that getting evidence, is kind of delayed value. So you're gonna have to manage the game with less, things than some characters have. A lot of characters, so a small factor there.
Yeah, and so you play multiplayer fairly often, right? Or at least
Two
more so?
two players like what I play 90% of the time.
So for you personally, if you played two player that much, does having three thwarts over two thwart make that much of a big difference to you? Like for like a solo play, like this is game changing, right? But for two player, is it as big? You think?
Yeah, it's huge. A lot of side schemes, actual encounter ones are free threat per person, but so a lot of these player ones that are really good, like build support, call for backup. So just having half of that in one activation, and then worst case half in the next turn, or if you can ready up. And in multiplayer, I think threat is the thing that scales up the most.
Mhm.
4 times as many people in like 4 player, for example,
Yeah.
twice as much in 2 player, but also twice as much chance to get a side scheme, which then scales up twice as much. So it's even more than double in most of the time in most scenarios overall. Especially because you can go ultra ego safely. It encourages you to do it more, which then makes more threat that way. So
Mhm.
free threat removal on a hero baseline, it does make an impact. It does add up.
Yeah. Oh man. And the fact that you can get her stat line there 323 as well with the jacket. I mean, that's Ironheart levels of stat line.
That is specifically actually what Ironheart stats are.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Especially since Ironheart has to work
Mm.
so much for it. And man, if turn one I'm just pulling out my fancy leather jacket, that's crazy.
I think what you'll find out, like in my opinion, it's the full recovery and the ability to just flip down, use it, flip back is going to be like the big thing. It's almost like 4 defense. As long as you're not defeated, I can exhaust and I've undone 4 damage, and that's just baseline. I missed the evidence counter, but it seems just extraordinary.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just I don't know. Yeah, I'm super hyped for it. So okay, so we got your hype on that. All right, so now focusing on just the we'll do justice and basic together since we're on a ton of cards. Hype level for your justice and basic cards combined, roughly.
Oh, I think that's got to be a 5. I'm worried Squirrel Girl is too good, but like I think she's really fun because it's squirrels. I'm sending out the squirrels. They're solving my problems for me. Can't we just all do that in real life? Wouldn't that make things easier? But aside from like squirrels, strategy session is super interesting. I'm not running it all the time, but there are interesting strategies, pun semi intended, around that. With the player side schemes, getting them and getting rid of them. I think
Mhm.
player side schemes are so strong, like in the right place, particularly more players, becomes really good. Run them to ground is so weird and unique. Skip the villain phase. What is going on?
Mhm.
Uh, like that's so good. What else did we get? We got Defend Our City. That one I'm super excited for, and I wish it wasn't Defender Army because I love using team up cards when I
Yeah.
can, and this makes it easier to use them. Um, and I think there's so many. I guess I shouldn't talk about all of them again, but I'm gonna do it. I've done this
No, do
many.
it anyway.
Entrapment, weird but cool. Grapnel launcher, very like very good, right? We talked about, but not just good, interesting.
Mhm.
And Joys of Life, I think is going to be like quite a game changing card. Um, for 2 player with a civilian character in the game, if you can ready up a character that's more valuable than you, this is big. But if
Yeah.
you are a civilian character that like wants to be ready, this is very good. This is like my sleeper pick, Joys of Life, for making an impact on the game.
Yeah, because like even like okay, even if it's just in Jessica's deck, and we talk about this with okay, flipping down, healing the four. Well, now use an ally to ready yourself back up, pop back up, and then you could still thwart for your three or whatever you need to do to get your counter as well. I mean, for zero, I mean zero cost event just seems crazy to me on this. Just I
It
don't know.
serves my heroes with like a stricter thing you have to exhaust in a civilian identity.
Mhm.
But then you can ready any hero or ally, so it's like super more flexible on the other side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I
I don't
guess
know. I
too, moving
hmm.
forward, if we get more civilian characters, I mean, this just keeps getting better and better.
I mean, it surely are like civilians one of the most common traits in that game.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna happen.
Um, Link gives it a 7 out of 5 for his hype level,
Wow.
which I mean, I'm at like a 5 out of 5 for Squirrel Girl alone. I'm a little disappointed that they just didn't add like something about a nut punch on it, because Marvel Legendary did it. They should do it too. Just for
It'll be
the
the
lulz.
aggression version of Squirrel Girl in 2 expansions time.
Can't love it. Oh, I love it. But yeah, I think this squirrel counter thing, like, she's just stupid strong, and I agree with run them to ground. Um, I still can't wrap my head around how I'm gonna make this work, but I'm eager and excited to try to make it work, which I think is like, to me, the most fun thing. Is like, okay, you see a card and it's like, I don't know how this is gonna pan out, but I want to see how it can pan out, or what.
Yeah, I think it's just weird stuff.
Somebody asked, does Joys of Life mean you can exhaust other players, heroes, allies, civilians at the table? Correct, because it's an alliance card. So you'll be able to do that. So if you play multiplayer, it scales really well with multiplayer. Solo, it might be a little trickier as long as you get an ally out there. But yeah, if you're playing multiplayer, man, this card's gonna go hard for sure.
Yeah, solo is a lot more limited, but I didn't. At least you can flip alter ego, and if you're a civilian, exhaust your allies so you can ready up to recover, something like that.
Yeah,
It's gonna still have uses. And for Jessica, it's crazy.
yeah,
Jessica's the exception.
yeah. Yeah, gotta wait for the Squirrel Girl hero. Dude, it's gonna be the best hero. I can't wait. I'm still on Team Kool-Aid Man, but Squirrel Girl's top 3 for me for sure. Right there with Howard the Duck. So
What an expansion that would be.
oh my god. I want it to be just the weird expansion. I just want them to lean into the weirdness.
Sounds good to me.
All right. All right, Villain, I've taken a bunch of your time. Any parting thoughts? Anything that's just like, man, really sticks in your head that like we haven't talked about, that you're just like, man, I'm hyped for this thing.
I feel like I talked about it all before that. I mean, skipping the villain phase is crazy, and I love that basic readying exhaust. Like, as a multiplayer player who deck builds a lot, I can see I'm going to put this hero, and this one's going to exhaust to ready up this one, and like I'm going to like break this game open some more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in general, I think Jessica's a hero, super unique, and really looking forward to.
Yeah, I agree. I'm super hyped for her. I think for me, like, so Echo was my number one hyped hero that I'm excited for. Then Daredevil out of the two. Not that I'm not hyped for Daredevil, but just Echo looked so interesting the way she works. Jessica to me is kind of fighting that top spot. Because Daredevil, I get in my head like, okay, I understand how I'm going to run him most likely, and that's not a bad thing, but I kind of already get it. Jessica is still a bit of a question mark. Same with Echo of like how I'm exactly going to do things. But I love that Jessica just seems so versatile that she's not pigeonholed in one aspect. That's my only worry with her, was that, oh, she's going to have to be running Justice or something like that. And that's definitely not the case. We've talked about before, there's so many different interesting builds I think you can do with her. I think that's going to be crazy awesome. And I love that. So I don't know, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for the weirdness of Justice. Maybe Justice just becomes the weird aspect at this point, which I'm totally chill with. And Squirrel Girl, I just can't. It's an auto include. But I'm excited to see how she actually ends up playing. Because there are times I've been hyped for heroes and I think we can do all these crazy things, and then when it comes to fruition, it's like she's still good, but she wasn't doing what I thought she could do. So maybe that's my only worry, but that's not even much of a worry because I think she's still going to be good regardless. Maybe just not as powerful as I possibly think she would be.
Yeah, I feel like Power will have to wait and see, like, to truly see. But something I feel like for Jessica as well, it might be quite deck dependent. Like, my
Hmm.
only thing would be like if you bounce off her initially, like maybe change the deck up, because I feel like the way she interacts with so much stuff, and like the way she damages a villain is so weird. Like, what you bring is going to have an impact. So, something interesting to look out for. I also quickly wanted to say, I think I've got Echo at number 1, Jessica strong number 2, then Daredevil for me.
Is that disappointing as you're waiting for Daredevil, or no?
Yeah, but I still think the box overall is looking really good. I'm still
Yes.
really excited. The villain stuff in the box has me really hyped.
Yeah, agreed. I think this is gonna be a fantastic wave. Even if even if the next three heroes, what Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Elektra, like quote unquote, aren't as good as what they've revealed for Daredevil, Jessica, and Echo, like I still think it's a really great wave overall because these three have been so incredibly strong. I think the villains look super unique and interesting, and it seems like I mean, for me personally, I was a little worried with I'm sorry, with Caleb leaving because, like, all right, sometimes Tony's designs or other people's designs bounce off of me and they just don't connect. I am not having that issue whatsoever with any of this stuff. This stuff seems all very solid and exciting, and I don't feel like I'm bouncing off of anything yet, which I'm super hyped for. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think they mentioned in the designer live stream that all three designers worked on this, so that's kind of an interesting thing. Like, I think
mhm.
Tony took the lead on a lot of stuff. Tony probably did, Jessica. I think he took the lead on the heroes, but it's a lot more people kind of chipping in and around, probably giving some input or something. So, yeah, curious to see how that all kind of shakes out going forward. This seems really good.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. All right. Well, Villain Theory, thank you, dude, for taking the time to talk to me today about this because this was great. Hopefully, maybe in the next week or two, we get a Luke Cage and we can get you back on here talking about Luke Cage.
Yeah, yeah. If they let me out the retirement home again,
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a consulting fee. I'm just paying you consulting fees, so it's fine.
right, right.
All right, dude.
Yeah, it's
Well,
been great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
yeah, anytime, anytime. Everyone, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Remember, live stream tomorrow night to watch Novels play a horror game. We still have to figure out what horror game she has to play, so good luck to her on that. But yeah, appreciate you all being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the support. And go support Villain Theory on his channel because he's never going to actually retire. He's going to keep pumping out content. He's a liar. Don't listen to him. So, no comment.
Okay. I was like, I felt like you were ending the stream there, and now I gotta say, retirement, it's abstract. Who knows? I mean, I just really been enjoying all the new Daredevil stuff, and yeah, I guess maybe I'll see you guys for Luke Cage.
There we go. All right, Villain Theory. Thank you. Thank you, the chat. We'll see you all next time. Take care, everyone.